All right, so this is over at the Radichel job. I'm going to walk through some of my dimensions here and go over some of the notes just so that way we can try and get a grasp on it, because we are doing this in a slightly different configuration and it's difficult to get a large project like this to scale with my hand drawings here. Okay, so first, let's start off with this top area here, the concrete. Presumably, this is going to stay as it is, okay? So we're not going to touch this. When we demo everything out, we're going to assume that this is going to stay put. Okay, so this has a 6-foot radius, so 12 foot. Like if you were to look at this whole thing now, it doesn't go all the way around, it just kind of goes around over here. The center of this is actually not on the center of the steps. Do you see this crack, or this line that's going down the middle? This is actually not the center. The center is actually 1 foot to the left of this crack. So we've actually got 7 feet over here and 5 feet over here if you were to draw a perfect circle. From the steps to the center point, I've got 11 feet. So if you want to, kind of do your steps and do the house or whatever, if you're trying to find the radius of it, we come out 11 feet from the steps and 1 foot toward this side over here, and then you can get your 6-foot radius, 12-foot circumference. Okay. We've got then we've got some steps that are coming off here. These steps are, I want to say, 6 feet wide, and they go into 8-foot wide steps eventually as we get down here. Now, we're not touching these. I've given the linear feet for each side and tried to give you the kind of the heights, because these go from the ones on the, as we're looking at it from the top, the ones on the left side, they go from at grade down to a certain height, and they do it again. So it goes anywhere from, what do I have here, 6 to 14 inches tall, just varying over the course of the 34 feet. So if we go the whole width and go, 6 plus 14 is 30, or is 20. Divided, so averaging 10 inches. Obviously, that's you could do it like that, but that way we get the linear feet and the square footage. Ooh, that tread is loose, yucky. All right, and then on this side it has more standard heights. So I've actually given the heights as a whole and the depths of them. So. And then I stopped it right here. At this point, you can't quite see, let's take a step back here. At this point, where it kind of wraps around here and goes around, it goes from 6 inches right here, and it goes underneath this brush over here. The next place I can see it is right here, and we're getting into multiple tiers here. So I'm giving whole heights, because we're gonna condense these tiers down to just to single tiers, keeping this top one aside. But we're gonna take these in the front and combine them into one. So I've got 18 or 19. I don't remember what I wrote down, but right here it's 18 or 19. And then as we get all the way over to the side over here, we're at 32 inches. And obviously, you can see how it kind of goes down here. There's another tier behind it over here, and we're condensing those 2 tiers. So we're looking at kind of squaring this off a little bit. You can kind of see I did mark where the window was, so that's obviously the place that we can't encroach upon. All of these plants are presumably going to be gone. The only ones that are staying is this tree right here, and they want to keep this one and this one, these 2 trees, which shouldn't be a big deal. We should be able to leave them as they are and just move the footprint a little bit. Now, we've got this, so hang on, let me take a step back. This outside area, I like to do is design where it's more square, more rectangular. Coming out kind of here and then cutting across. They said that they're tired of all the curves. So we can square it off a little bit. I mean, we can do a couple designs, but the first one, let's make it relatively square on this outside, condensing the tiers, getting it down to a front tier and then a tier back here. So this tier back here is it follows the circumference of the of the circle up top, but there's 18 inches between the two. We actually need to pull that out a little bit. If they want to plant something in there, I told them that they needed more space than what they currently have. So if there's 18 inches right now, I like to make it at least 2.5 feet, give it at least 30 inches, so that way we have crushed rock going, and we can get a batter going back. Then they can plant in there. We are going to use Chilton, and we're going to do this ashlar, not dissimilar to what they have on their house over here. Now this is wet set. I told them that it would be dry set because we want it to be able to breathe. Yeah. So we do have a downspout that's right there. We've got some, we do have some irrigation, so we're going to have to tell them that that's going to need to be relocated when all is said and done. But yeah, so if we're pulling this out at least another foot, this wall up top, we should be okay with that, with not encroaching into that tree. These aren't too bad here. We've got, the edge rock is fine. We've got a couple of meandering walls that are over here. This guy right here is 6 feet, and it goes from, you can see the front here, it goes from 6 up to 14 inches. It's just a little wall. It's actually ashlar right now. It's just pushing the wrong way. You can see, I'll just show you here. You see where the original, where it originally was back here, and it's pushed forward just that much. Now they do have a water thing right here, but yeah, they just, yuck. We are going to try and use their stone. It's all basically the same size, and it's got cement all over it, so there's not a lot of discount that we can give to them because there's going to be tons of labor in getting it out. So yeah, and so this wall right here, 13, 4. This is 14 inches tall, and I'll put the linear feet on here. It's just going to go probably back in the same footprint, but that way we can get it to look the exact same as the other walls. All right. One final thing to take a peek at over here. Let's see if I can give you a. So we've got just to show you where the tiers are currently. So obviously the first tier is right here. You can see how this one and this one, the goal is to kind of combine these two. So if we were to move this guy back a little bit and this guy forward, that would get us a tier in a similar circumstance to what we have over here. This is taller. This part right here is taller than the wall that goes around the whole thing. So we've got, let me just look one more time, 8 inches of height that's right here, and then it goes into 14 inches that kind of goes over here. So we've got an extra, if we do the math, I said it was 32 inches from the grade up to the height of that first tier, and I want to say it was 32 inches for the height of the second tier. Then just know that this is an extra 8-ish inches just for this little area right here to get it to be level. So here's where that downspout comes down, and it exits over here. I've given the dimensions, like I said, of the little jut out over there. He also asked if this can be repaired. We'll have to talk to John if he can do a little repair on something like that. That's just exposed aggregate. I told him that's not something that we generally do, or that we do at all, period. But I would ask to see if we can do that. So, yeah, I think I've got what I need. I hope I've given you enough dimensions on here. A lot of this is a blank slate. Really, the only things that are that we just have to make sure that we pulled this wall forward enough to give it adequate batter, and it's a very consistent grade going down. So I have, like I said, I had like the 18 or 19 inches on that far side over here, and it goes down gradually to the 32. So we can use that as our gauge to what we're doing. It's pretty consistent coming all the way around. So I asked them to wait to repair their driveway until after this is done, because it's we're going to be driving on it with heavy machinery, and if they're going to have to redo it, then may as well. I don't want to destroy it after it's been redone. Yeah. Hang on a second. Sorry, I'm looking around where I'm going. So I'm going to try and give you an overview of the whole thing right here, just so you can kind of see what's going on, give you as much information as possible. For Nick, there's staging area down here. However, we are in Edina, which could create a problem. We're not on a main road by any means, but we can't dump on the driveway. We'll destroy this stuff. I don't know if they're planning on reusing this particular pavers or not, but all right, so then here is this view. See back over where we were. You can see how it circles around currently around here and then comes in to that tier, which is looks to be about 3 feet, mirroring that upper one currently. Here's this lower one. You can see how it's very consistently, the grade is going downhill. And then this is where the two tiers kind of combine together to create this single one right here. So this is 3 to 5 inch rows. So if you look at this, if you're looking at, for instance, this back wall, if you need to try and infer some height or whatever, that top course is 3 to 3¼ inches thick. 3 courses down looks to be at the 5 inch range. So